Welcome back, preschool. I don't know, it's like I said, it's really super hard for me to be able to show you all these glorious and beautiful places that we have. But I picked this spot because behind me are these pretty pink flowers. So I don't really know if you're going to be able to see them or not, but they are really super pretty. And so I just thought this would be a nice compromise so that we'll be able to see our stories and listen to what's important about our school, but also being surrounded by God's beautiful creation on this super beautiful Earth Day. So today we're going to read about courage, and courage is a tough one. Do you have courage? Courage is inside all of us, in everyone. And it comes out when we decide to stand up for what is right and good. And it comes out sometimes when we are most afraid. And right now, we might be going through some confusing and sometimes times that make us feel afraid. But the best part is we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to worry because we have God on our side. And we know that God always keeps his promises. You're right. And if he promises to take care of us, guess what? He will. So that means when we get to times, tough times, we can stand up and have courage because we have God on our side. Now, I have a story about do you remember Esther? And Esther had to stand up and have a lot of courage too. Esther lived with her cousin Mordecai in the land of Persia. And one day the king of Persia decided to choose a new queen. He said, I want Esther to be my queen. She is the most beautiful woman in all the land. So she got to be the new queen. Well, that sounds really good and exciting. It doesn't take much courage to do that, does it? Well, there was a man named Haman who did bad things. And Haman said to everyone, You must kneel down to me because I am more important than you. Mordecai said, I will not kneel down for Haman. I will only kneel down for God. This made Haman very mad. Haman wanted to hurt Mordecai and all of Mordecai's people, so Haman made a plan. He decided to trick the king. Haman told the king that Mordecai and his people were bad. Haman said to the king, If you will make a law to hurt Mordecai and all of his people, I will give you a lot of money. Now the king liked money, so he said, Oh, yes, I will do this. And they had a feast, and Haman was happy. Oh my goodness. We shouldn't try tricking people or hurting people. Haman, haven't you learned any lessons? But when Mordecai heard the new law, he cried. All of Mordecai's people were afraid. The people did not know what to do. And Mordecai said, I can help. I will tell my cousin Queen Esther to talk to the king, and she can ask him not to hurt my people. Now, at first, Esther was very afraid. I can't go to the king unless he calls for me. I might lose my life. What would Esther do? Esther made her choice. She said, But I want to help my people, and I am willing to go to the king. So even though she was super frightened, super scared to do it, she did it, didn't she? Because she wanted to help her people. When Esther went to the king, well, he was happy to see her. And Esther told the king about Haman's trick to hurt Mordecai's people. She said to the king, Please save these good people, because they are my people too. What? The king was surprised. He said, I can write a new law. I will help all of Mordecai's people. And Queen Esther was happy, and she knew that she had done the right thing. She saved all of Mordecai's people. She had a lot of courage. And when she saved Mordecai's people, she saved her own people too, because Mordecai was her cousin. You have courage too, and it's right inside of you. When someone wants to hurt your friend, you can say, "No, I will not let you. I will help my friend." That is courage. And that's just like yesterday. Do you remember Daniel and Jonathan? Daniel, sorry, David and Jonathan, silly Mrs. Ryan. They were very best friends, weren't they? And when King Saul wanted to hurt David, did Jonathan let it happen? Oh no, he had to have courage too, because King Saul was mad, 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 just like Haman was mad, 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 mad. But took courage, didn't it? Do you think you'd have courage to help your friends? Oh, I know you would, because we've got God. We've got God with us to protect us, and God always keeps his promises. You're right. Now, sometimes it's hard to do the right thing when you don't feel like doing it. And this is called obedience. I need you to do something for me, your father might say. And you can say to your father, "Oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to." But when you choose to do what your mother or father tells you to do, that is obedience. Now, God wanted to help the people in the great city of Nineveh. And he said to Jonah, "Go and help these people. Tell them to stop doing bad things." Do you remember Jonah? If you do, you remember what he did, and there he is right there. God asked him to do something, and what did Jonah do? He ran away. Not only did he say, "Nope, not gonna happen," he ran away. At first, Jonah would not listen to God. He didn't want to obey God. He wanted to do something different, so he tried to run away from God. Can you run away from God? No way. God is everywhere. How could you possibly run away? Jonah wanted to get far away from Nineveh. He boarded a big boat that was sailing far away from Nineveh. But God was watching Jonah. Of course, God watches us all the time, everywhere. God sent a storm so big that the boat almost broke apart. The sailors were afraid, and they said to Jonah, "Are you the reason for this bad storm?" And Jonah said to them, "Yes, I am the reason. But if you throw me into the sea, it will stop." So the sailors did what Jonah said, and the storm went away. Oh my goodness, there he goes into the sea. Now, if you remember, was that the end of Jonah? No, it sure wasn't, because soon a great fish or whale or a sea creature came up and swallowed Jonah. Jonah prayed very hard inside this fish. He said, "Please help me. I am sorry." And after 1, 2, 3 days and nights, God saved Jonah. The great fish spit Jonah out onto dry land. Out onto the dry beach, right? Then God said to Jonah again, "Go to Nineveh and help these people. Tell them to stop doing bad things." And this time, Jonah listened to God. This time, he decided to obey God. And he went to Nineveh and told the people what God had said. Oops. And the king of this great city said to the people, "Stop! Stop doing bad things and start loving God." And the people did. Hooray! God saved the city of Nineveh. Jonah obeyed God, and God was glad. When your mother and father or teacher tells you to do good things, do you obey them? When God tells you good things to do you obey him? That is what Jonah learned to do, and that is called obedience. Now, the thing I always think about when we talk about Jonah is if Jonah had done what God asked him the first time, he would never have ended up inside that sea creature for 3 stinky, smelly, slimy, yucky days. Wouldn't it just have been easier for him to listen and obey the first time? I agree. So sometimes you might feel like, oh, I'm too tired to do what I'm being asked to do. But it might be the easier solution, don't you think? I do. And usually, if you're being asked to do something, there's a pretty good reason. Moms and dads usually have some super good reasons to ask you to do something. And I know your teacher always has super good reasons to ask you to do some things. Now, I know that's not where our day ends, so we're going to come back in just a little bit and talk about our letter of the week.